court, right? So plenty of sea grapes on the store. The trees are there, and the grapes they've all bared fruit, and the grapes are there. Listen, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Don't forget, tomorrow we're talking about how you're going to be able to go and order and have your styrofoam and eat out of that. No, very soon. We're going to talk about that, the move to ban that. Don't go anywhere. The news at 6 is straight ahead.
You need a little conversation when you need a little inspiration.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up first at 6, amended agreement. The Bahamas and the United States further strengthen its partnership on narcotics control and law enforcement. Legal team. Government retains a team of attorneys to handle the Shantytown court matter. And traffic legislation. Hear details of proposed legislation to stop traffic accidents from the Minister of National Security. The Bahamas Tonight, first at 6, starts right now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Every Day.
The Bahamas and the United States solidifying its agreement on narcotics control. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. Thanks for joining us tonight. The Bahamas and the United States signed the 8th Amendment to the Letter of Agreement on Narcotics Control and Law Enforcement at the Office of the Prime Minister in Cable Beach this morning. The original Letter of Agreement was signed on September 24, 2010, and Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis indicated at the signing ceremony this morning that since the agreement was signed, it has provided equipment, technology, and training opportunities in various areas of law enforcement by the United States to the Royal Bahamas Police and Defense Forces, as well as the Department of Corrections. The Prime Minister made it clear that his government remains resolute in its commitment to address corruption.
This most recent amendment will result in the United States providing over $1.4 million for law enforcement professionalization support and the rule of law, transparency, and anti-corruption reform in the Bahamas. Additional activities will include assistance with legislative reform, the creation of anti-corruption bodies, and the provision of training, technical assistance, and equipment to law enforcement and the financial, judicial, and civil society sectors.
Standing on behalf of the United States was the U.S. Chargé d'Affaires, Stephanie Bowers, who outlines how an executive order signed by United States President Donald Trump underscores that corruption undermines the values that form an essential foundation of stable, secure, and functioning societies.
Under the executive order, the United States seeks to impose tangible and significant consequences on those who engage in corruption, as well as to protect the financial system of the United States from abuse by these same persons. Individuals designated under this order will not only have their assets blocked, they will also find their entry into the United States suspended, among other consequences. Imposing such entry restrictions on corrupt individuals is just one additional tool the United States will seek to employ to fight corruption.
Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis was not able to hold his public meetings at the Office of the Prime Minister in Cable Beach today as scheduled. Press Secretary Anthony Newbold told reporters that the entire day schedule was filled with the 10 individuals who confirmed an appointment, but he says next several weeks are booked as well. He's hoping that the appointments remain at 10 minutes.
Is asking people to be mindful that a lot of people want to see the Prime Minister, and ordinarily you wouldn't get a chance to do that only because of the nature of his schedule. There isn't time for him to see individuals like that, which is why he thought this is a wonderful idea. While the House is on break, we'll take a couple hours every Wednesday, which is when he would ordinarily be in the House of Assembly. He's not there now, and so let's take this time and see some of the ordinary people.
Mr. Newbold also confirmed that Family Islanders have also been included.
Prime Minister's in the Family Islands every other week, and so it's not as if they're left out or they weren't thought of. He's in Eleuthera, he's in Exuma. Just a couple of weeks ago, he was in Acklands and Crooked Island. So he takes those opportunities to engage people when he goes out there. So everybody, as many people as possible, have an opportunity to say something to the Prime Minister.
Minister of Finance Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest is denying a report in a local daily that suggests tax cut for wealthy homeowners. He told ZNS News Today that a statement released by his office yesterday referring to the recasting of the definition of owner-occupied properties was misconstrued. Minister Turnquest told ZNS News Today that there is no move to reduce tax rates for any groups, but that the decision to revert to the previous definition of owner-occupied properties for real property tax purposes was the intent of a pending amendment.
For real property tax, the government undertook to increase the top-end rate for undeveloped land owned by foreigners. This is what was announced in the budget communication, and that is what will remain. What the government is undertaking to change in the amendment that quantifies the time frame for owner-occupied property. This is being done simply because the amendment had the unintended impact of bringing legitimate and non-commercial homeowners under the commercial property tax rate. And that was not the policy intent.
Minister Turnquest explained that a $50,000 cap on such properties remains, thereby nullifying the notion of revenue shortfalls. There is, however, as announced in the budget, a 5% increase in taxes on undeveloped land owned by foreigners. And Minister Turnquest says that increase is intended to spur them to action.
The owners of these properties own them fee simple. And we do not, there's no legal right by which we can acquire or reacquire this property unless it is deemed necessary for a national public good. And so we have to use moral suasion. We have to use the tax incentives that are available to any developer, foreign or domestic, to encourage the development of the land. And to the extent that we have no success in that regard, a little bit of a punitive measure, one may say, to encourage them to take advantage of the offers that have been made with respect and to fulfill their commitment when they would have acquired the property in the first instance.
Government has retained a team of expert attorneys to defend its case in the Shantytown matter that's now before the courts. The team is being led by attorney Harvey Tynes QC, and he will be assisted by attorney Robert Adams. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Senator the Honorable Carl Bethel, revealed in the Senate this morning that the team is experienced in judicial review and constitutional matters before our courts. Leader of Opposition Business in the Senate, Senator the Honorable Fred Mitchell, expressed hope that the Shantytown case will move through the courts quickly.
I think the public is concerned that this matter is dealt with dispatch. He would know from my interventions person to person of our concern from this side to understand what the nature of the judicial proceedings, what is the nature of the judicial proceedings and how they were going to be prosecuted. He did indicate the attorneys had been, this work had been assigned to these two attorneys. I hope that the matter is dealt with dispatch. As our own statement says, there needs to be some resolution to this matter, which is a public health, public security to issue.
Now to news from education, first at 6. Only a few weeks left before the new academic year begins, and the issue of uniform assistance is one that the Minister of Social Services and Urban Development, the Honorable Frank E. Campbell, is monitoring. The opposition criticized the new policy that only allows no more than 2 children in any household to receive uniform assistance. The policy also noted that if assistance was obtained last year, no applicant will be assisted in extreme or extenuating circumstances. Well, Minister Campbell had this response when questioned about the issue, particularly since funding has been reduced, which some suggest may leave some children out.
There is always a possibility, not just with social assistance, with assistance for any ministry. There is always that possibility that there are some things that you want to do that you can't do. So that's not confined only to the Ministry of Social Services. But I would have said earlier, based on our resources and the assessed need, persons will be assisted, notwithstanding the speculation that if there are 4 children, only 2 will be assisted, or the speculation that if you were assisted last year, you won't be assisted.
Still ahead, we've got some tips for motorists who want to avoid a traffic accident. We're just getting started first at 6. That story and more on the next side of the break.
When school ends, BTC summer vacation begins. That means freedom to switch it up and break a few rules.
I am flying overseas and when she touch down, she not stop call me. And I nothing for me breed, girl. Me want no feud like a Bob Marley. Me fix them.
Freedom to mix and, of course, mingle. Freedom to go wild and take the fun to a whole new level. Join the BTC Summer Vacation for exclusive rewards, cool prizes, and more.
Okay.
BTC, the bigger, better network.
Get ready. Commonwealth Bank wants to make this your best school year ever. Get the loan you need at a special discount. Cash for tuition and supplies, the best education, the best memories, and you want to know the best part? You could win a trip for 4. So don't wait. The discount ends soon. Talk to us today about your best school year ever loan. Approval is fast and easy. Conditions apply.
What would you do with your part of $50,000 in cash and prizes? Show your KFC bucket love and get a chance to win your part of $50,000 in cash and prizes. Display your bucket love sticker for a chance to win. You could be one of 10 gold ticket winners with a chance to win the $10,000 grand prize and get started on your bucket list. Stick it to win today. Bucket love. KFC Nassau. It's finger licking good.
For a moment, we've missed the mark or we've fallen short. But this generation of over the hill young people are bringing back the value and the principle on which their forefathers has taught them.
The proceeding was brought to you courtesy of the Over the Hill Project.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Minister of National Security, the Honorable Marvin Dames, confirming to reporters today that he's recently discussed the issue of traffic fatalities and finding ways to solve the problem with the Commissioner of Police. Minister Dames credits the work being done now by the Police Traffic Division in fixing the problem. However, he's hoping that to further strengthen partnerships with the Road Traffic Division and the Attorney General's Office will help. He also revealed proposed legislation that will address speeding and persons who drive with no disregard to traffic laws.
Certainly what it will do, the legislation that is, will tie a lot of these persons who are currently being reported and are not paying their fines and are ignoring the law. We're looking at measures to tie that to their driver's license. Right? And so when you now go to pick your driver's license up, chances are that person on the other end who would have received that request can bring up all of your information and said, you have a problem.
Well, given the frequency of traffic accidents, police want motorists to know what to do should you find yourself in this unfortunate circumstance. Corporal Decorate Barr says, first things first is to make sure that you as the driver are okay and then call the police.
We'd advise persons to take out their mobile device if the environment again is safe, and they can take photos of the scene of the accident, the positioning of the vehicles. Try to take that photo from different angles so that the officer would have a clearer picture on what happened initially at the accident scene. Then we would advise you to find a safe space, a safe position off of the road, and pull your vehicle safely to the side of the street.
Corporal Barr also shared what motorists should do if the accident that they're in is obstructing the flow of traffic.
We'd advise persons to take out their mobile device if the environment again is safe, and they can take photos of the scene of the accident, the positioning of the vehicles. Try to take that photo from different angles so that the officer would have a clearer picture on what happened initially at the accident scene. Then we would advise you to find a safe space, a safe position off of the road, and pull your vehicle safely to the side of the street.
Also making news tonight, the Member of Parliament for Marathon, the Honorable Ramal Ferreira, took time out on the holiday to spend time with his constituents in Union Village as they celebrated Union Village Day. The fun-filled event was family-oriented with free goodies for all. During the fun day, he spoke about the upcoming events for his representatives. You can hear more in the National Report at 7. And from our #1 industry, residents and visitors traveling to and from the Family Islands will soon have a new option for making travel arrangements. There's a new app called Island Link Up that will make travel within the Bahamas more easy and accessible. Now, the app and website will contain a booking feature for local airlines and charters, rental car companies, and accommodations. When asked how the company intends to compete with travel industry giants like Expedia, officials say, as the Bahamas is an archipelago nation with so many destinations, there's a landscape you really have to know. The app will be available for download on Google Play Store by mid-October for Android users, and iPhone users can access the website, which will also be available during mid-October. Well, that does it for National News First at 6. Stay with us. Sports is next with Jonathan Benson.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
Debit card, you can be in the know right now. Turn on notifications for your Visa card from CIBC First Caribbean, and you will know every time your card is used. CIBC First Caribbean, banking that fits your life.
You can count on me. Just call me and I'll come.
My first memory of music would have been a performance when everyone was singing the song. The song was drop down and come up slow, and everyone in the crowd was singing. I was amazed. I was in shock.
I did not always want to be a performer, I actually wanted to be a doctor. And when I was on my way to med school, I had this whole epiphany, and I went to Berklee College of Music, and that's when I made the switch.
If I weren't singing, I'd be singing. I love track and field.
Many different things inspire me. It isn't anything specific. It's just, just enjoying the environment. And that's what I think music should be about, being free.
Tap of a button, I'm able to get in contact with persons all the way across the world. Technology acts as that bridge that keeps me connected.
BTC in one word, I would have to say clutch.
Connected family.
Family.
Every day. ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Our men's national basketball team hooping it up tonight with the Kentucky Wildcats as a part of their Big Blue Tour at the Imperial Arena in Atlantis. Now, even though the college season is still a couple of months away, Cats head coach John Calipari wants his players to be focused on the task at hand.
I have great kids who, and I say kids, we have some older players, some veterans. Last year we had all freshmen, but we have some veteran players and really good players, but that doesn't mean you're going to be a really good team. This is where you find out how we're going to piece this together. One of our goals were, let's get closer as a team. Let's put those phones down, jump in the water a little bit together. How about we're having meals together, and let's play and learn when we're going against good opponents and some adversity hits. Let's see how we respond, and you learn about each other. But coming together as a team is a big deal.
The World Junior Rowing Championships underway in the Czech Republic. Competing in the men's singles sculls, Ethan Stanhope opened up today with a 4th place finish in his heat in 7:44.52. He rows again tomorrow in repechage 3 out of lane number 5. On to the International Tennis Federation's Coca-Cola Junior Tournament in St. Lucia. Dante Ambrister was back on court yesterday with Romain Myers from Barbados. They eliminated Cardell Williams from Antigua and Adria Basque from St. Lucia in straight sets, 6-4 and 7-6. From the minor league baseball diamond yesterday, Anthony Seymour 2 for 5, a double, a run scored in Jupiter's 3-1 loss to St. Lucie. Jazz Rattle Chisholm 1 for 4, a run scored as Visalia picked up a 4-2 win over Lake Elsinore. In the Arizona League, Christian Robinson 2 for 6, a double, an RBI and a run scored. Dominic Colley was 1 for 4, a double, 2 RBIs and a run scored. And Trent DeVoe, he also was in action yesterday, and we'll have more for that coming up for you. Now, the classification rounds, they are set to get underway tomorrow. Actually, they got underway today at the Cal Ripken Babe Ruth 12 Under World Series in Branson, Missouri. But as a result of finishing second in their group, Freedom Farm has the day off. They will play again tomorrow in the international semifinals against Japan, who finished on top and undefeated in the other pool. The New Providence Softball Association was back on the diamond last night following the holiday break in the feature game of the ladies doubleheader. It was a close one with the Platinum Pool Sharks holding off the BTC Warriors 12-11. Sari Alry picking up the win, helped her own cause as well, going 2 for 3, an RBI and a run scored. Sophie Cartwright also 2 hits with 2 runs batted in. For the Warriors, Randall Cooper 2 for 3, 2 runs batted in and 2 runs scored. As for the opener, the Sunshine Auto Wildcats, they played the Hennessy Panthers. Wildcats taking this one 8-1 behind winning pitcher Tila Johnson. Johnson, she helped her cause as well at the plate, going 1 for 1 with 2 runs batted in and a run scored. Tyrese Curry also a perfect 3 for 3 with a run scored. And talking about the Wildcats, they had something else to celebrate last night at the park. They just won the Austin Knowles tournament in Eleuthera during the Emancipation holiday weekend.
I was happy that they went to that because, we get some extra games, to make us a little bit more comfortable. And I'm very proud of their performance. They went over and they won. They showed good representation, good class with the organization. So I just want to say how proud I am. And I'm sorry that I couldn't be with them because I was in Columbia, but hats off to them.
Giovanni Mofire Johnson putting on a show on home soil as the BOMAC Cage Fighting Series returned over the weekend at the Melia Nassau Beach Resort. Johnson spoke about what's up next following his 3rd round KO over Angola's Pedro Casoma.
I'm planning a trip to Texas to visit one of my teammates, Justin Patterson, coming down to rumble with you, boy. Pro MMA Bellator fighter, doing big things down there, and I just want to go soak up that experience with him.
And that is your first look at sports. Don't go anywhere. First at 6 is back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
No matter what your goals are in life, you have to start somewhere. It all begins with Leno. Leno, bridging possibilities. Call us at 396-3225 or email info@lenobahamas.com.
The Bahamas has quite a story to tell. The sweep of its history and the distinctiveness of its people and culture weave a tale that captivates and fascinates anyone who hears it. From our pirate past to our quiet revolution, from cave paintings in Rum Cay to the creations on Bay Street every Boxing Day and New Year's, there are stories of shocking strife and stunning revival, devastating loss and spectacular success, and above all, the wonderful human story of how Bahamians settled and thrived on these barren rocks and keys, developed a vibrant culture, and created the best little country in the world. This year, ZNS TV 13 will be honoring this wonderful legacy with a 13 on TV 13 documentary series on all kinds of subjects, designed to inform, educate, and entertain you, and share with you, the people, their stories, and the glories that is the Bahamas. We invite you to join us.
The public is advised that for its convenience, the Passport Office Issuance Section only will be open for collection of passports on the following Saturdays during the month of August 2018 from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday, August 4th, Saturday, August 11th, Saturday, August 18th, Saturday, August 25th. Where applicable, members of the public are reminded to bring their receipts and passports at the time of collection. Please note that all third-party collections must be accompanied by a signed letter of authorization from the passport holder or guardian, relevant passport and receipt, and a valid government-issued identification, passport, driver's license, or NIB smart card of the person authorized to collect.
ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Watch our live channel to keep up with what's going on in the nation. News updates, we've got you covered. Tune into our radio stations with just a swipe. On the road, on the go, we're here with you. Available for download on the App Store and the Google Play Store.
Carlton Bowleg. Now that Bahamas residents can fly or cruise free to the Family Islands, what are your summer vacation plans?
Go to North Andros and the Berry Islands.
And there is no better time than now with the 2 Fly or Cruise Free promotion, where all residents of the Bahamas can fly or cruise free to the Family Islands from Nassau. Refresh, reconnect, and unwind in the Family Islands. For details, go to bahamasresidents.com and fly or cruise free to the Family Islands.
In news from the region, the chair of the regional nursing body, Nestor Edwards, has called for urgent action to address the migration of nurses and midwives from the Caribbean. Addressing the organization's 45th annual general meeting in Guyana, the Grenadian chief nursing officer said that experienced nurses are leaving in large numbers. Among the recommendations to deal with the situation include the need for strong advocacy for the implementation of the 2001 migration strategy and for a statement to be issued by the organization to the Caribbean community. The Trinidad-based Caribbean Public Health Agency will conduct a survey to determine the knowledge, attitudes, and practices of Caribbean individuals concerning mosquito-borne diseases. The survey, which is being funded by the European Union, will also be carried out in several Caribbean countries. The first survey, which begins this Thursday in Barbados, is being held in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And Barbados international singer Rihanna is set to receive the University of the West Indies Honorary Doctors of Letters at this year's graduation ceremonies. Officials of UWI's Open Campus said Robin Rihanna Fenty would receive the award along with newly installed President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Adrian Saunders, who will be awarded an Honorary Doctor of Laws degree. The ceremony is set for October 20th at the Cave Hill campus in Barbados.
Time now for weather.
In our first look at weather, Tropical Storm Debbie has weakened as she now moves over the cooler waters of the Atlantic. Winds are down to 40 miles per hour, and we expect Debbie to dissipate sometime tomorrow. On the home front, we have a weak high-pressure system which will control our weather through tomorrow, and that means less rain showers over the next 24 to 36 hours. And outside of our studios, it is partly sunny, temperature 88 degrees, a relative humidity at 62%. The winds are out of the south-southeast at 9 miles bar. Your barometric pressure, 1,018.7 millibars. That's 30.07 inches, and it is falling. That's going to do it for your first look at weather at 6. Stay tuned. More weather is still to come.
Thanks so much, Basil. That does it for First at 6. It's time now for a check on stories making news around the Northern Bahamas.
The University of the Bahamas expanding course offerings for the new year. The Red Cross extending training to the youth. And the August Monday holiday, a time of reflection for many in the East.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Later this month, as the university continues to expand its campus through the addition of a dormitory facility, they are also expanding their offerings here in the north.
The University of the Bahamas is continuing its mission of providing quality world-class education to Bahamians right here at home. Dean of Faculty, Dr. Peter McWilliams, says that they are encouraged by the number of students applying to and being accepted into the university.
We actually had 350 applications, and currently we have accepted 192. Of course, we're still waiting for some BGCSE results, so we would imagine we'll get close to 250 accepts this year.
The Northern Campus will also be adding new faculty for subjects, including math, physics, education, and literacy. He adds that they also have some exciting news for students pursuing degrees in the biochem major.
We've also got a visiting professor from Nassau coming down to teach some biology courses. We have a group of 20 to 30 students who have completed 2.5 years of their study, and usually they go off to Nassau to complete the remaining of their studies. But fortunately, this professor is going to come here next semester and teach 17 hours of biology courses, lectures and labs. And so with a bit of luck, these students will not need to go back to Nassau or go to Nassau and complete their degree. They can stay right here and finish their biochem degree.
Several courses will also be taught on campus via the use of technology.
We're using the interactive classroom, so faculty from Nassau who are teaching courses there will also be teaching our students here through the technology, and vice versa too. We're going to have some faculty here also doing the same thing, teaching here to students here, but to students over in Nassau too, using the technology. So I think technology is definitely the way forward if we want to grow the academic programs here. We're offering some courses via technology. History would be one course. We haven't offered it here for a couple of years, so we have a professor there willing to teach it in Nassau, but obviously here too. Last year we had physics, we had education courses being taught online. Similarly this year too, we'll be doing the same thing. So as I said, technology is definitely the way forward.
Dr. McWilliams says that he attributes the campus's growth to a number of factors.
One of the reasons would be through technology, offering new programs. I also think our presence in the press, in the community, has increased in the last year. You know, we had a radio show last year every Saturday morning, which I think helped. And of course the dorms. The dorms are definitely going to attract students, both on this island, because the island's long, but also in the region. You know, so we've got Abaco, we've got the Berry Islands, and of course, who's to say Nassau students can't come to Grand Bahama and use the dorms and take courses here too.
Another group of young Bahamians completing tertiary level education at Tarif College. Tarif holding its 17th annual commencement ceremony recently under the theme No Struggle, No Progress. Sabrina Brown has the story.
Over 70 young Bahamians receiving the rewards of their labor as they were presented with degrees and certificates in various courses of studies from Tarif College. Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge, Reverend Frederick McAlpine, admonishing the graduates to continue to strive for excellence and pursue higher learning.
Don't let this be your final destination. Don't you think because you have your cap, your gown, and your degree that your area of education is over. You are forever learning. You are forever trying to improve yourself. I hope that you would be a class that will seek to strive towards the spirit of excellence and to maintain it in your daily living. Don't stop reading. Don't stop listening. And never think that you know it all simply because you got a couple of letters behind your name.
Founder of the Phoenix Institute, Spence Finlayson, delivering the commencement address, telling graduates that as they progress in life, there will be struggles.
From you are born until you die, your life is literally unbroken, an unbroken chain of an ever-increasing, unavoidable struggle. The education you receive from the struggles you face is cumulative. You get a little at a time from each and every experience that you encounter.
Finlayson says he overcame many personal struggles, which made him stronger.
In 1973, my brother was killed in the front of me with a baseball bat, yes. The brother I followed. 1 month later, my mother had a stroke that paralyzed her. Exactly 1 month later, our house was destroyed by fire. 6 months later, my father died in my arms. But did I stop there? No. No struggle? You must keep on going. Yeah, that's right. You must keep on pushing. You see, I did not let that define me. And the Bible says your gifts shall make room for you and bring you to the presence of great men and women.
Valedictorian Derek Russell says the graduates are not only celebrating the achievement of their degrees, but also the valuable lessons learned.
My fellow graduates, you possess an exceptional quality that distinguishes you from the others, the quality known as endurance. You have persevered, you were consistent, you have demonstrated discipline, and you have proven yourselves to be well capable, well qualified, and courageous because of your accomplishments, some in the face of grave adversities. Many of the students who started out with us have not made it to this graduation, and for this milestone, I commend you.
You have now moved in those few minutes from the status of graduands to graduates. Please shift your tassels to the left.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
It appears that the summer months may have taken a toll on the Season Grand Bahama. Some residents have been complaining about the large amount of seaweed, also known as sargassum, on some of the local beaches. Marine biologist and founder of Earth Care, Gail Woon, says this may be due to the warming of the ocean.
It is an effect due to our warming of our oceans. Most sargassum starts out in the Sargasso Sea, which is up in the Atlantic. It's a place where the sargassum tend to grow. And what happens when it grows to a certain size, pieces break off and then they're carried by the Gulf Stream in different currents to wherever those currents end up. We've always had a certain amount of sargassum on our beaches, and it's never been a nuisance.
She says the influx of seaweed has been a challenge in the Southern Caribbean for years, as the seaweed is sometimes piled up to 4 inches.
And they've had to close some hotels that were on the beaches that had so much sargassum. And they've actually got a task force now that's trying to deal with the problem, trying to figure out the best ways to either remove it or put it out of sight of the tourists. And they're even using it as agricultural fertilizer because it's coming in such amounts that it's a good fertilizer. If you've ever been to the beach, usually I know people who come and pick up the seaweed to put it around the coconut trees.
You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us, there's more news right after this break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
What if the solutions to your household challenges was just around the corner? Like upgrading to Rooms to Go furniture, landscaping your property, modernizing your kitchen, fixing your plumbing and electrical issues, Ace Paint for your home, television upgrade, and electronics. Tools to simplify household repair. Awesome kitchen gadgets and utensils, machines and tools for yard work, outdoor furniture and grilling supplies. You've got challenges, Dolly Madison's got the solutions.
Come on down. Now. It's back to school and back to school savings at Bellevue Business Depot. For all of your back to school and teacher supplies, they have it all at an extra 20% off retail price. Crayons, glue, markers, crayon pencils, backpack, character bags, meat notebooks and teacher supplies for the classroom and much, much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the backpack bundles for preschool, primary school and high school, loaded with all the supplies you need for back to school. Teachers get your first 8-foot Butcher Fadeless paper free when you purchase a minimum of 10 feet, as well as additional discounts at the Coffee Center. All at Bellevue Business Depot, located on Queens Highway.
We from the Bahamas, sun, sand, and sea. A lot of activities, but for you and me. If you don't believe me, then come follow me. Come right down to this place and we call it KFC. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese. No one can beat us at anything we do. No way. Sports, art, soccer, Tamix, even junk canoe. We got the best beaches, even the best food. I already tell you, that's just how we do. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese. KFC the Big Cheese. We got the Big Cheese.
Purchase a Big Chief meal today and receive 2 Big Chief collectible cups at all KFC restaurants in Freeport.
Welcome to Jags International. We have Celebration, Valeria, FRS, Bahamas Air, Hotel, car vouchers now on sale.
Girls, I tried book my ticket online with them ferry them. So complicated, they asking for too much.
That's why I stick to Jags. No agency fees or booking fees. Cash and credit, all the same. Blow deals and spectacular services with a smile.
Yes, that's Jags, your one-stop shop to Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Miami.
We even offer cheap car rental vouchers to all our thrifty Hertz and VIP service.
Book now with Jags and get their $5 discount card. And don't forget the super sales going on.
Stay informed on your local weather forecast this 2018 hurricane season. Your #1 news station, the ZNS Television Network. We've got you covered. Covering the Northern Bahamas, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The August Monday holiday was a time of reflection for many in the High Rock community. This year, during the annual Seafood Festival, Ezekiel Pinder was recognized for his many contributions to the High Rock community. Treasurer of the Seafest Association, Eric Ballou, says Pinder was also one of the founders of the Seafest Committee, which was established some 12 years ago.
Mr. Ezekiel Pinder has been a pillar of source in East Grand Bahama. I can recall way back in 1965 when he works on the local board of work. And at that time, the local board of work were responsible for most of the development in the communities.
He also spoke about some of the efforts made by the organization over the years.
Seafest Association was organized to assist in the development of High Rock, and most especially in the youth program for the youths, a place where they can come and do class work. The building is still in the building process. We have, over the years, refurbished the building, and hopefully with the proceed arrived from this 12th annual Seafest, we can upgrade our computer program.
The World for Jesus International Ministry is coming to the Bahamas this November to host a nationwide outreach to win souls for the Lord. Founder Dr. James Horvath says that this is the third nation that the Lord has put in his heart. So far, his organization has held national outreaches in the Philippines and Ireland.
We believe that this is God's time for the Bahamas, and we're calling the nationwide invasion Igniting Hope, because we know that that the Bahamas needs hope, and now is the time. We really believe now is the time for the Bahamas, and we also believe that Bahamas is a gateway to all of the Caribbean islands and nations, and we have a mandate from God underneath the umbrella of World for Jesus to go into all the nations, all 192 nations. And we believe that the Bahamian leaders and people will come with us. So we believe that God has a destiny for the Bahamas.
A local pastor's preparation meeting held recently on Grand Bahama to update Christian leaders on what will take place. So far, teams have been set up in Abaco, New Providence, Andros, and San Salvador. Grand Bahama Chair of the Bahamas for Jesus movement, Pastor Eddie Victor, says that representatives from over 150 churches will travel to the country to work with local churches in this massive movement.
By doing outreaches, door-to-door witnessing, and special events where people will gather and hear the message of the gospel of the kingdom of God. And so what is so wonderful is the commitment of these churches from abroad to come into the Bahamas, and they will be spending about 10 days in November across the Bahamas. Of course, the larger groups will be in New Providence and Grand Bahama, but the other major inhabited islands, there will be groups there doing simultaneously outreaches and door-to-door witnessing and special events to reach people by doing
And now it is time to Ask the Doctor.
Hi and welcome. Today I will wrap up the discussion on heat stroke, a serious health risk during the summer months. As you know, anyone can develop a heat stroke, but some persons are at greater risk of suffering from this dangerous condition. Some factors that can increase your risk include age. The very young and the very old are most vulnerable. Exertion in hot weather, like playing sports or doing manual labor, can greatly increase the risk of heat stroke as well. Other factors such as sudden exposure to hot weather, certain medical conditions, for example, heart or lung disease, a lack of air conditioning, some medications like those used to control blood pressure might also increase your risk. If any of these risk factors I mentioned apply to you, take all the precautions you can to avoid heat stroke, including finding an area to cool off for a few hours, like a public library, shopping mall, or a movie theater. Drink plenty of water to stay hydrated, and avoid exerting yourself in the heat. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Don't go away. A check on sports is up next with Rumiko Knowles.
Report just what you've been waiting for. The newest men's fashion store at number 1 Britannia Mini Mall, Caravel Beach. Hustle Men's Fashion.
I'm Hugh Ferguson from Budget Pest Control. After 30 years in this industry, testing hundreds of pest control products, none has impressed me more than Vape. Vape 90-Day Mosquito Destroyer, Vape Aerosol, and Vape Mosquito Coil. Vape is the only spray that you will find in my house and my mother's house, and it should be the only one in yours. In pest control, there are only 2 names to remember: Vape and Budget Pest Control. Okay.
We've raised the stakes. We've raised the bar. We've raised the standard. Your new entertainment playground. Winners take chances. Chances makes winners. Chances remind you to game responsibly.
Journey to a serene oasis.
Bimini, it's regatta time. From August 9th through the 12th, sailing, junk canoe, Stevie S, food, folks, and fun at the Bimini Regatta.
Everybody, welcome to sports. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Topping sports this evening, an up-and-coming sprinting sensation is making some headway at the NCAA level. Jay Philippe has the details.
For those persons who have not heard the name before, Michael Strachan is a name that you may want to get familiar with. The two-sport collegiate athlete is entering his junior year at the University of Charleston in Charleston, West Virginia. Michael recently set a new school record in the 400 meters, among other accomplishments.
My goal is actually to come back and run for my country. I plan to make it to nationals and do well and become an All-American.
Michael had an outstanding sophomore campaign and is focused on his long-term goals as he approaches the national scene.
I've ranged 3.0 cumulative for the past 3 years I've been there. So my academics is pretty good, and I'm studying business administration and communications. So I plan to walk out with a degree with those two majors.
The quarter miler says a great deal of time and dedication goes into being a student athlete at one of the highest levels. His aim is to never lose focus on what lies ahead for him after track and field.
Track season went pretty well on my team. We won the conference championship. I won 3 individual events, the 400, the 200, and the 4x4. So it went pretty well in as planned.
Michael Strachan is set to return to West Virginia in the next few days as he prepares for early mandatory workouts. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Total Sports.
Best wishes to Michael as he continues to represent Grand Bahama. Let's head down to the Diamond. The 6th annual Bahama Sports Festival concluded the year with baseball games at the Emera Baseball Park on the weekend. Jay Philippe has the scores.
The 6th annual Bahama Sports Festival concluded the year with baseball games at the Emera Baseball Park on the weekend. The Bahamas teams were victorious in 3 of the 5 categories, which is our divisions. The 8 and under division was an all-Florida final with the Phillips Park Barracudas defeating the Miami Blue Devils 12-2. The Barracudas are playing in the Cal Ripken World Series this weekend in Missouri. The 10 and under division saw Grand Bahama defeat the Miami Phenoms 12-4 and finish the tournament undefeated. The 12 and under division was an all-Bahamian final as Grand Bahama finished first and Legacy second in round-robin competition. The 16 and under division had a 2-team friendly match between Grand Bahama and Team Floribane, which is a team that consists of all-stars from Florida, Honduras, Abaco, and Freeport. The 2018 Bahama Sports Festival began in April as a Russian 12 and under team came to Grand Bahama for friendly games, training, and also a great time in the sun. Congratulations to all players who performed on the weekend. Much more in store for the 2019 Bahama Sports Festival. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Jay Philippe.
That's going to do it for sports. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, make it a great one.
More Makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
They call him Mr. Cardioblast, and now he's making history in another expanding industry. Phenomenal graduates doing some phenomenal things, and a phenomenal weight loss story and the fitness trainer behind his success. And get ready for a phenomenal word.
Manifestation is coming to your house. Believe God, trust God. No matter what's happening in the country, no matter what's happening in your house, you got to believe the report and the word of God.
Phenomenal with Joan Davis Roll.
This Friday at 8 p.m. on the ZNS Television Network.
Business owners are excited about ZNS Northern Service Storm Central Hurricane packages because advertising rates are discounted up to 50%. That's right, get 50% off advertising packages this hurricane season from now through November 30th. Call our sales department at 351-3430 or 352-9713 and book your advertising package today.
Influenza or the flu can be serious, causing hospitalization and sometimes death. One of the best ways to prevent acquiring the flu is to get your annual flu shot. Flu shots are available free of charge at all community clinics. The following high-risk persons are encouraged to get their annual flu shots: children 6 months and older, pregnant women, adults over the age of 50, persons with asthma, diabetes, hypertension, or a weakened immune system resulting from cancer and/or HIV, persons in nursing homes, and healthcare providers. Additional information regarding the flu shot can be provided by your
And that's going to do it for us here in the North, but be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Bahamas has quite a story to tell. The sweep of its history and the distinctiveness of its people and culture weave a tale that captivates and fascinates anyone who hears it. From our pirate past to our quiet revolution, from cave paintings in Rum Cay to the creations on Bay Street every Boxing Day and New Year's. There are stories of shocking strife and stunning revival, devastating loss and spectacular success. And above all, the wonderful human story of how Bahamians settled and thrived on these barren rocks and keys, developed a vibrant culture, and created the best little country in the world. This year, ZNS TV 13 will be honoring this wonderful legacy with the 13 on TV 13 documentary series on all kinds of subjects, designed to inform, educate, and entertain you, and share with you, the people, their stories, and the glories that is the Bahamas. We invite you to join us.
Hundreds of extraordinary Bahamians make up the heart and soul of Commonwealth Brewery's dedicated team. Influencing each generation, there's one sound that is undeniably Bahamian: the sound of the cowbell.
We actually brew this beer from scratch, all done by Bahamians. I've been with CBL now for 32 years.
27 years.
18 years. 23 years.
If it's made in the Bahamas by Bahamians, then of course it is Bahamian.
Now you can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular ZNS TV HD programming. One is the Parliamentary channel, and one is the 24/7 television community page. These channels may be accessed simply by attaching either a rabbit ears antenna or an indoor amplified antenna to the RF input connector on the back of your digital television or flat screen TV. Once the antenna is connected, select TV mode and choose Auto Scan, and your TV will automatically pick up Channel 13 at no charge. Once you're on Channel 13, just use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
The public is advised that for its convenience, the passport office issuance section only will be open for collection of passports on the following Saturdays during the month of August 2018 from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturday, August 4th, Saturday, August 11th, Saturday, August 18th, Saturday, August 25th. Where applicable, members of the public are reminded to bring their receipts and passports at the time of collection. Please note that all third-party collections must be accompanied by a signed letter of authorization from the passport holder or guardian, relevant passport and receipt, and a valid government-issued identification, passport, driver's license, or NIB smart card of the person authorized to collect.
The Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Wind Scale was developed in 1971 by civil engineer Herbert Saffir and meteorologist Robert Simpson, who was the director of the U.S. National Hurricane Center. It was introduced to the public in 1973 and began to be widely used a year later. Inspired by the Richter scale that measures earthquakes, the Saffir-Simpson scale was divided into 5 categories. Originally, the Saffir-Simpson scale also included predicted barometric pressures associated with the various wind speeds, as well as the relative kinds of damage that could be anticipated. However, because those predictions were found to be very inaccurate, just a few years ago the warning system was changed to include only the wind speeds, which were also adjusted upwards in the higher categories. A Category 1 hurricane has wind speeds between 74 and 95 miles per hour. A Category 2, 96 to 110 miles per hour. A Cat 3, 111 to 129 miles per hour. A Cat 4, 130 to 156 miles per hour. And a Category 5 hurricane will have winds from 157 miles.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
The United States and Bahamas signing an amendment to an agreement on narcotics control and law enforcement. I'm Altaviz Muddings. That story coming up in the National Report.
The government ups the ante on gaming taxes starting Monday. And Shantytown residents relieved. Hear their reaction to the injunction that will save their homes for now. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Kish Latterly. Thanks so much for joining us. The Bahamas and the United States have solidified their agreement on narcotics control as officials sign the 8th Amendment to the Letter of Agreement on Narcotics Control and Law Enforcement at the Office of the Prime Minister today. Altaviz Munnings reports tonight that one of the goals of the agreement is to address corruption.
Signing the amendment of the Letter of Agreement on Narcotics Control and Law Enforcement between the Bahamas and the United States provides over $1.4 million from the United States government for law enforcement professionalization support and the rule of law, transparency, and anti-corruption reform in the Bahamas. Add to that assistance in legislative reform and the creation of anti-corruption organizations. Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Darren Henfield, touted this gesture from the Americans as he acknowledged both countries shared history and common heritage.
Most importantly, however, we share common interest in combating drug trafficking and crime, because a safer Bahamas is a safer America.
Standing on behalf of the United States was U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Stephanie Bowers, who outlined how an executive order signed by United States President Donald Trump underscores that corruption undermines the values that form an essential foundation of stable, secure, and functioning societies.
Taking on corruption is a tremendous challenge for any government. It takes unwavering leadership and resolve to push for increased transparency. In any system where there is corruption, there are those who gain from it. These corrupt individuals stand to lose a great deal when a government decides to tackle corruption. But when a government succeeds, the people of that country do too.
Since the agreement was signed on September 24, 2010, it has provided equipment, training, and technological opportunities by law enforcement of the United States for officers of the Royal Bahamas Police and Defense Forces, as well as the Department of Corrections. Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Hubert Minnis says his government remains resolute in its commitment to address corruption.
The additional support from our neighbor will help to facilitate the advancement of three of the government's key priorities, namely, to advance our national security strategies to reduce crime, strengthen our borders, and reduce the recidivism rate for a safer Bahamas.
Put simply, corruption costs a country jobs and economic growth, and it forces a government to compensate for lost revenue by raising that revenue through other means. These issues also directly affect the United States and the security of our people. As the United States increases border security, we must also have trust in the systems of our partners.
Prime Minister Minnis also noted that the scope of these amendments to the existing agreement regarding anti-corruption and transparency will support public sector modernization and the ease of doing business.
This lends well to the aggressive targeting of systematic corruption by my government, which aims to reduce the significant burden which corruption places on the public purse, to further stimulate foreign direct investment by enhancing confidence in our institutions, to improve the quality and standard of government services, and to decrease the level of inequality.
Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquest is denying a report in a local daily which suggests tax cuts for wealthy homeowners. He told ZNS News Today that a statement released by his office yesterday referring to the recasting of the definition of owner-occupied properties was misconstrued. He told ZNS News Today what in fact the proposed change intends. Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister the Honorable Peter Turnquest is refuting the report of a local daily suggesting that there are changes to taxes related to second homes. The article suggests that taxes imposed on those homes were pulled back and would result in revenue shortfalls. But he says that can't be further from the truth. He told ZNS News Today that there is no move to reduce tax rates for any group, but that the decision to revert to the previous definition of owner-occupied property for real property tax purposes was the intent of a pending amendment.
For real property tax, the government undertook to increase the top-end rate for undeveloped land owned by foreigners. This is what was announced in the budget communication, and that is what will remain. What the government is undertaking to change in the amendment that quantifies the time frame for owner-occupied property. This is being done simply because the amendment had the unintended impact of bringing legitimate and non-commercial homeowners under the commercial property tax rate. And that was not the policy intent.
A $50,000 cap on such properties remains, he explained, thereby nullifying the notion of revenue shortfalls. There is, however, as announced in the budget, Minister Turnquest notes, a 0.5% increase in taxes on undeveloped land owned by foreigners, and he says that increase is intended to spur them to action.
The owners of these properties own them fee simple, and we do not, there's no legal right by which we can acquire or reacquire this property unless it is deemed necessary for a national public good. And so we have to use moral suasion. We have to use the tax incentives that are available to any developer, foreign or domestic, to encourage the development of the land. And to the extent that we have no success in that regard, a little bit of a punitive measure, one may say, to encourage them to take advantage of the offers that have been made with respect and to fulfill their commitment when they would have acquired the property in the first instance.
The Deputy Prime Minister also made it a point to explain that there is a need to distinguish second homes from second homes that are on the market for commercial purposes as revenues continue to slip through the cracks. Right now, there's a move afoot to change that.
You'll not be able to find every one of them because it is difficult to distinguish whether a visitor is family or whether they are in fact renting. But we can track through the legitimate online sellers of these kind of properties, the Airbnbs and those kind of organized resellers or renters. We can track those, and we have a program with respect to that should be coming in force very shortly. But other than that, we will depend upon the local government entities to help us to police these properties.
It is unclear how much revenue the Airbnb and similar enterprises yield, but that's an area the government is looking to add to its revenue yields soon. Well, come Monday, August 13th, that 5% stamp duty tax on web shop deposits will come into effect. The Tourism Minister, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar, who has responsibility for gaming, suggests, though, that could change in the future.
Every tax gets changed. Right? And no government is going to stand here and tell you that no tax will ever change. So we will look at it. We will look at all taxes as we do every year or at the mid-year budget or whenever we look at it. And we will tweak what we, think needs to be tweaked. I mean, it's, I'm not going to, no government minister has ever stood up here and said, that's it forever, maybe by the value-added tax.
The minister was also asked whether government revenue is likely to be impacted by possible losses to web shop business.
I mean, obviously we're concerned about every allegation or every proposal that is made by the gaming industry. We look into it. This is why we've decided, based on their suggestion, that we look further into it. That's why we're looking into it. May I remind you, governments are always tweaking taxes. Every budget year, we increase this tax, reduce this tax. So this is nothing out of the ordinary. We'll look at it. They've made a proposition that's going to negatively affect their business. Everybody said that about the introduction of the VAT 7.5%. And yes, there's probably a little dip to begin with, but people resume their consumption patterns. So we'll do what we've said we're going to do. We'll look at it and get back to you with a decision on it once we've done that.
A team of top attorneys will make the case for the government as it fights shantytown residents who are resisting eviction and the demolition of their homes. The team is led by attorney Harvey Tynes, QC, assisted by attorney Robert Adams. Attorney General Carl Bethel spoke to the issue in the Senate today.
The government views this challenge with the utmost seriousness, and I want to assure the Bahamian people that the government intends to meet this challenge in a vigorous, timely, and appropriate manner. Towards which end, we have appointed and retained a team of expert attorneys who are particularly experienced in the judicial review matters and constitutional matters before our courts.
Leader of opposition business in the Senate, Fred Mitchell, also expressed the hope that the Shantytown case will move through the courts quickly.
I think the public is concerned that this matter is dealt with dispatch. He would know from my interventions person to person of our concern from this side to understand what the nature of the judicial proceedings, what is the nature of the judicial proceedings and how they were going to be prosecuted. He did indicate the attorneys had been, this work had been assigned to these two attorneys. I hope that the matter is dealt with dispatch. As our own statement says, there needs to be some resolution to this matter, which is a public health, public security issue.
Meantime, residents in various shanty towns here in New Providence are relieved about the injunction issued by the Supreme Court, which stops the demolition of their homes pending a court ruling. Our Kelsey Johnson visited several of those communities and got feedback as the government prepares to defend its proposed action in court.
The notices hung boldly for all the residents in the various shanty towns to see. It is a reminder that their days in the areas they once called home are numbered. While many packed up and moved out ahead of the August 10th deadline, there are some who haven't. For those who remain, they are now breathing a sigh of relief after the Supreme Court issued an injunction placing on hold the demolition of shanty towns on New Providence.
I know they happy, but I can't speak to others said, but them said bears come around here hanging with them, and I know they very happy to heard what Fred Smith tried to do. They understand the needs to be in a shantytown. It ain't all of them would have the money, but could afford to live somewhere else, and especially them said who have young children, they need somewhere to live.
So I asked the government to give us a little bit of time. If the court say we have to move right now, we move in.
There are about 12 houses through a small dirt road off Lazaretto Road in the Carmichael Road area. Our news team spoke to one of the residents who wished to remain anonymous, but did reveal the reasons why he now lives in the community.
That's the best thing you can do for me at this time. Actually, I used to live in an apartment, but after I get fired from the job, then I can't make it, so I move in the shanty town. No, I already packed, but I doesn't have nowhere to go because I can't find an apartment because, I don't work, so it ain't nothing to move like that. I used to work, sometimes you do 1 or 2 days a week, that's enough for you to take care of my kids and my wife.
Brenda Avilma lives with her mother and 5 other siblings in the Bacardi Road East Shanty Town. Avilma, who recently graduated from Anatole Rogers High School, said her mother lost her job as a housekeeper and was worried about how she would take care of the family.
They don't have to move anymore, and at the apartment they ain't taking parents who have more kids and stuff like that. They only taking person with 1 or 2 kids. She more happy about that she don't have to move, and she invests more in the house, and she don't have to move.
Did y'all pack, started to move, get your things ready, or no?
No, because we didn't find no place to go yet. We couldn't pack anything to move as yet.
Of the 5 shanty towns we visited, the majority of the residents in the one located off Allen Drive called The Village had heeded the call and vacated. Kelsey Johnson, ZNS Network News.
During this morning's brief Senate session, members took the time out to pay tribute to a number of well-known figures who have passed away.
When one looks at the life of Toledo Strawn, it is really, you could take it as one of these iconic journeys to think that, over the past 60 years, our country has seen such social progress that straw vendors could be made senators, and that humble Bahamians from every walk of life could be given the uplifting hand of successive governments committed to the advancement of all our peoples.
Fenton Nemore joins now, and this is sadly so, both Bernard Nottage and Charles Maynard. I said when Charles Maynard passed away unexpectedly that I thought that, this was a man that I was going to be fighting for 30 years. Because, he's younger than I am. I figured I was going to leave him in the arena. And I would have said the same thing about Fenton Nemore. And they were tenacious, good battlers, but always believed very strongly in the Bahamas. And that's number one for me, is if you stand for this country. And Fenton is going to be missed.
His Excellency, Basil Sands, is really an iconic figure in our society. For many, many years. He not only had earned an illustrious stature in our society, but he had the statue, as the former Prime Minister English would say. He had the height and the command that went with it.
Well, still ahead tonight, more than 1,000 young Bahamians being trained for the job market, thanks to the government. And the Harlem Legends making a special appearance in Fox Hill. You'll have those stories and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, returns. You're watching your news leader.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell, fueling journeys that matter. Summer promotion.
Get ready. Commonwealth Bank wants to make this your best school year ever. Get the loan you need at a special discount. Cash for tuition and supplies, the best education, the best memories, and you want to know the best part? You could win a trip for 4. So don't wait. The discount ends soon. Talk to us today about your best school year ever loan. Approval is fast and easy. Conditions apply.
You can count on me. Just call me and I'll come running. No matter the
I got into comedy from the day I was born, and I look up and I saw who my parents was. I know my life is gonna be interesting.
The Bahamian people inspire me, like 100%.
I think the keys of the success to the band Visage has been the ability to stay relevant for the many years that the band has been around.
Technology, it keeps me connected.
What technology have done for me is priceless.
I don't know how I would be able to survive without it.
If I would describe BTC into one word, I would say innovative.
Family all around.
Communications lifeblood of the Bahamas.
What would you do with your part of $50,000 in cash and prizes? Show your KFC bucket love and get a chance to win your part of $50,000 in cash and prizes. Display your bucket love sticker for a chance to win. You could be one of 10 gold ticket winners with a chance to win the $10,000 grand prize and get started on your bucket list. Stick it to win today. Bucket Love, KFC Nassau, it's finger licking good.
Now, Vanessa, you look stressed though.
Girl, listen, I here on my little piece of lunch break trying to pay these bills. I gotta go head to BTC, then I gotta go fly to BEC, and then I gotta go swim to Water and Switch.
Girl, look, save your time and your gas, all right? Make one stop.
How? Take your backside to Cash and Go. You pay all 3 of them bills one time. It's one line, one place.
What a bunch of locations.
You think I should go now?
Vanessa, you ain't reached yet? Cash and Go. Fast, free, convenient. Call 322-CASH for more information.
We are 700 Wines and Spirits.
From Grand Bahama to San Salvador.
Just around the corner when you need us.
For every celebration and relaxation.
Committed to quality and service since 1953.
With renowned wines.
Rums and spirits.
We are 700 Wines and Spirits. Always with ice cold beer.
And attractive promotions.
Here for you as we've always been. One name, one people, united in wines and spirits.
We are 700 Wines and Spirits.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Minister of National Security, the Honorable Marvin Dames, has confirmed to reporters that an intense investigation is underway into that foiled escape at the Bahamas Department of Corrections last week. He indicated this morning that this ministry will also soon be seeking out a new superintendent of corrections.
So we're moving very, very assiduously to modernize that institution. And so very shortly we will be going out and advertising for a new commissioner of Bahamas Department of Corrections. And that advertisement will go abroad as well as we will send it out locally. Our hope is that at the end of the day we will have a Bahamian leading that institution, but we're now looking for someone capable of transforming it into a modern facility, and hence the reason why we're looking across the globe right now.
More than 1,000 young people have been enrolled in the government's new job skills program to prepare them for the job market. Public Service Minister the Honorable Brenzel Roll says the opportunities are vast as he encouraged participants to embrace them.
It is common knowledge that the unemployment of our nation's youth, especially those between the ages of 19 and 30, is of a great concern to this government. This program is intended to begin to address this issue, as this is not only a skills training program, but a job creation program. To ensure for your future success, we have built meaningful relationships with key private sector partners. They have agreed to provide job placement for skills training.
Program participant Alexandria Rackley Foster says that she's looking forward to new opportunities.
I aspire to become a veterinarian and own a pet-friendly veterinary hospital. I heard about the National Job Creation and Skills Enhancement Program through a representative from the Killarney headquarters. When I heard that the government had a program that offered job opportunities, I thought it would be a great idea to take advantage of it. The National Job Creation and Skills Enhancement Program has given me the opportunity not to only work, do an internship at a veterinary clinic, and gain experience, but to enable me to fund my tertiary education as well.
In other news, the controversial issue of uniform allowance addressed today by the Minister of Social Services, the Honorable Frankie Campbell. He sought to set the record straight following criticism over how those free school uniforms will be distributed.
The department has a procedure of assessment in determining who is in need. There was some talk about persons who received assistance last year not receiving assistance this year. I want to make it emphatically clear that persons will be assisted according to their need. So all persons who are in need are eligible and entitled to apply. They will be assessed on their own merits and demerits. So there's no hard and fast rule.
Welcoming this was Baines and Grantstown MP Travis Robinson. He thanked the Social Services Minister for bringing clarity to the matter. Upgrades at government schools in the upcoming school year. He says apart from building upgrades, there will also be improvements in the digital arena.
Includes fiber optic capacity, comprehensive Wi-Fi and internet capability, a robust educational management information system, as well as a student information system. We have all that technology in schools now, and so we have to use it.
Well, Newbold added that both students and teachers will be given devices with curriculums installed.
So beginning in September again, 30,000 students in preschool and primary schools across the Bahamas will be receiving tablets. Their teachers and the teachers' aides will receive laptops. All of these instruments, these devices, they will be loaded with the respective subjects that these students need to be learning and teachers need to teach.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your World Fidelity Business News. I'm Altaviz Munnings. The Central Bank of the Bahamas invites submissions of expressions of interest from qualified firms to supply blockchain or other robust technology solutions for a central bank-issued digital currency system. Based on the responses, central bank officials will identify parties to work on the design and implementation of a secure, reliable platform for a digital version of the Bahamian dollar. Interested parties are expected to provide their own version of the conceptual framework and roadmap with respect to these technologies and services. Now, it's anticipated that a piloted version of a digital flat currency would be in circulation within 30 months and offer security and versatility over a life cycle process for managing currency that is superior to cash. Firms selected may be invited to respond to a detailed request for proposals, whereby a notice will be published on the bank's website. That's www.centralbankbahamas.com. In other business news, registration is now open for the 6th annual Andros Business Outlook. It will be held Thursday, September 13th at the Stafford Creek Lodge in Andros. The keynote speaker will be the Minister of Works, Honorable Desmond Bannister, who will address the topic, Creating a World-Class Andros. The Business Outlook series is organized by the Counselors Limited. And in international business news, Samsung will pour $222 billion into emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and 5G as it searches for new products to power growth. The South Korean conglomerate said in a statement that it would invest the funds in 4 areas over 3 years. Samsung will also focus its efforts on automotive electronic parts and biopharmaceuticals. Samsung is South Korea's biggest conglomerate and the world's biggest smartphone maker, but its profits have suffered from disappointing sales and slow demand for some memory chips. That's your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Altaviz Mannings.
We start with a yes, but when life takes unexpected turns, you can still say yes to more. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card gives you points with every purchase that you can use to travel anywhere. Fly on any airline, anywhere, at any time, with no blackout dates. Plus, with just 20,000 Scotia points, you can say yes to destinations. With Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card, it's easier to say yes to everything. Apply today.
Looking for some wines or just having a real good time? Jimmy's Liquor Store is the best. Come put us to the test. It's Jimmy's. When you listen to your Bohemian lyrics, it's Jimmy's. And you feel for your favorite spirits, it's Jimmy's. When you're showing you got your Bohemian flair, it's Jimmy's. When you want that truly Bohemian beer, it's Jimmy's.
If you're at Jimmy's on Shirley Street, ask for Bohemian Gal Jackie. Carmichael Road, please see Reggie. Queens Highway, Freeport, see Bunker, that's Clayton, or ask for Mistress Key.
Know how you can save more money, save more time, earn more interest, and have more for the future? The solution is an account from Fidelity Bank. With our ASU Savings, fixed deposits, and preferred client program, you can get free financial advice from our team of experts, competitive interest rates, and free online banking for simple and safe banking anytime, anywhere. Open a fixed deposit or savings account with Fidelity by visiting a branch today. Get into the rhythm of saving with Fidelity. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Independence Day, sunny days, regattas, and homecomings are all a part of Bahamian summers, as are the weekly specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Feliz Ready Cut Macaroni 400-gram box, 99 cents. Whole chicken wings, $1.59 per pound. Kraft salad dressings, 8-ounce bottle, 2 for $3. Joy Dish Liquids, 30-ounce size, $2.99. Sweet cherries, $3.99 per pound. Carolina Pride Ham, 10-ounce size, $2.99. Bahamian and proud, that's Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
The Bahamian spiny lobster or crawfish has attained certification by the Marine Stewardship Council, MSC, one of the most recognized and reputable seafood certifications, after a 9-year project and 19-month-long assessment. The certification confirms that the Bahamas lobster fishery is sustainable and meets high standards that focus on the state of the lobster fishery in relation to overfishing. This makes the Bahamas the only country in the world to hold the certification for the sustainability of the warm water spiny lobster. The lobster industry in the Bahamas is worth $90 million, employing 9,000 fishermen across the country. Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources, the Honorable Michael Pintard, says the country is pleased with this accomplishment.
This designation that we now have that places in 8% of all fisheries-related countries as having this designation is a proud moment for the Bahamas. We want to especially single out the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. Their members continue to risk their lives out on the waters to protect not only the marine environment, but also the fishers who are facing a difficult time in the southern Bahamas, being confronted by poachers, especially from the Dominican Republic. And so we want to single them out.
Natalie Miolis from the Nature Conservancy, an independent organization striving for economic sustainability, says the joint effort between the government and individuals in the private sector needs to be maintained, and the fishery needs to be monitored so that certification won't be revoked.
This is a collaborative effort between the government, private industry, processors, exporters, and fishermen to improve the sustainability of our fishery. This is a collaborative effort that must continue in order to maintain our certification and brings accountability to all the stakeholders to continue improvement of our sustainability. We must remain diligent in fighting illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing across the country, whether it be foreign or domestic, in order to maintain our Marine Stewardship Council certification, but also, and most importantly, to maintain the livelihoods of all of those across the Bahamas that are dependent on fishing.
Member of Parliament for Marathon, the Honourable Romuald Ferreira, taking time out to spend time with constituents in Union Village as they celebrated Union Village Day earlier this week. The fun-filled event was family-oriented with goodies for all. During the fun day, he spoke about the upcoming events for his area.
On August 25th, we'll have our own back-to-school at Marathon Constituency Headquarters, and we also have a back-to-school summer camp, which is on the 20th. We invite everybody to sign up, and we teach the children back-to-school skills, learning tips, reading tips, give them the back-to-school packages, and give them that support that they're going to need to have a successful year, because as you're aware, so much is predicated, so much depends on the foundational years. Essentially, what they become in life is going to depend on what they do with this time right here, and so this is very important.
Chairman of the Union Village Association, Roderick Murphy, and committee member Lorenzo Butler talked about the importance of community togetherness.
As a community, we invite all to come in, and as well as the people who pass through. You see what I'm saying? And what we try to do here is to keep the community together, to keep the people together. And if the way I look at it is, if every community do the same thing, we all would have a better Bahamas. And that's what it's about. People getting together in the community.
It's a lovely community. We live in unity and love, and we try to look out for each other. We need people to give us some donations to help our Union Village Day to make it more bigger. Every year, God allows us to see.
Well, that ends this segment of news. Stay tuned, though. Sports and weather still to come. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
We've all got plans for our golden years. Unfortunately for many, this may just be wishful thinking. To generate an annual income in retirement of $70,000 for 20 years at a rate of return of 5%, with inflation running at 3%, requires more than $1.1 million. So how do you save that much money? Many companies provide a group pension plan to help their employees by deducting an amount each month from their pay to contribute to the plan. Personal Pension Plan, or PPP, is similar to a group plan, but offered only to individuals. These plans offer many of the same benefits and features. Contact us for more information on pensions.
Bonaventure Medical Laboratory at East Avenue, Centerville and Sandyport celebrates 20 years of providing quality laboratory services with timely results. While partnering with your physicians and insurance companies, we have expanded into our modernized facility providing EKG testing, the latest in gonorrhea and chlamydia STD tests, rapid tests, paternity screens, online reporting of results, and also phlebotomy training. Visit or call Bonaventure Medical Lab, open daily at 7:30 a.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. or visit our Sandyport or Southside clinic locations.
Free, reliable, anytime, anywhere, and instant. That's the benefits of using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Pay bills, check account balances, transfer funds, and more. Enjoy the freedom of banking on your own terms. Why wait in line? Save time. Do your banking using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean to find out more.
Life happens. And when it does, FG Insurance Agents and Brokers is here. We help you protect the assets you've worked hard to attain. We offer home, auto, marine, commercial, and liability insurance. Don't hesitate to protect what matters with FG Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit us and speak to your agent today. Or call us at 396-1490 in Nassau or 688-1500 in Freeport.
Well, it's time for your first check of weather. We check in with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Basil, what did it feel like out there today?
Well, today, once again, we were just around 101 degrees, and that's because our relative humidity continues to hold in the mid-60s. If we get above that, it could feel even a lot warmer. But right now, we're going to take a look at temperatures around the Family Violence, and they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 88's in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Toll, Key and Abaco, Marsh Harbor, Abaco at 86, 85 in the Berry Islands, 84 in Allenstown, Bimini, Harbor Island, 84, 84 also in Roxanne, Lutra, Otterstown, Cat Island, Staniel Key at 85, 85s also in Kemps Bay, St. Andrews, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. San Salvador and Rum Key at 84, Georgetown, Exuma, 83 degrees, 83s also in Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Maguana, Acklands, and Ragged Island. Matthewtown, 85, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 83 degrees. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. In the Northwest and Central Islands tonight, light and variable winds, very flat seas, 1 to 3 feet over the ocean. The low tide will take place at 10:30 tonight, and then the high tide at 4:59 in the afternoon. For the southeast, Bahamas, east to southeast winds, 10 to 15 knots. Those wave heights around 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. And as we take you into Thursday and Friday, the light and variable winds will continue over the northwestern islands. Wave heights 1 to 3 feet. Low tide 11:29 in the morning. High tide will take place at 5:56 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands on Thursday and Friday, east to southeast 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It is time now for your travel forecast, and your travel forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Mama don't like no rake and scraping in here. Hey, he don't care, but mama don't like no rake and scraping anyhow. Mama don't like no rake and scraping in here. Now mama don't know that we are up. I ain't talking about the way she cook. Rake and scrape that's pumping through our veins. We can rate that she go up. We gonna rake and scrape beside the stuff. Yeah, the neighbors scream and shout. As soon as mama got to the door, turned around and she said, "No rigging and scraping, I'll be back after 4." Walk on the wall.
That's going to do it for your travel forecast, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is coming up in about 18 minutes.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. For some people, asthma is a minor nuisance. For others, it can be a major problem that interferes with daily activities and may lead to a life-threatening asthma attack. Asthma is a condition in which your airways narrow and swell and produce extra mucus. This can make breathing difficult and trigger coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. Asthma symptoms range from minor to severe and vary from person to person. Asthma signs and symptoms include shortness of breath, chest tightness or pain, trouble sleeping caused by shortness of breath, coughing, or wheezing, a whistling or wheezing sound when exhaling. Wheezing is a common sign of asthma in children. Coughing or wheezing attacks that are worsened by a respiratory virus such as the cold or the flu. For some people, asthma symptoms flare up in certain situations, like when exercising or doing physical activity in the workplace where chemicals, gases, or dust can be irritants, and asthma can be triggered by allergies. If you have been diagnosed with asthma or suspect you may have asthma, please see your doctor regularly and your condition can be monitored and treated. Severe asthma attacks can be life-threatening. Work with your doctor ahead of time to determine what to do when your signs and symptoms worsen and when you need emergency treatment. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
Move forward, Bahamas, and build high into the sky. Move upward.
and colorize those new walls. Move onward and build a garden to last a lifetime. Move together and settle into that new home. There's a lot of places you can do it for yourself, but there's one place to do it right. Builders Mall. We know exactly what motto you live by, and even the pros know building is just a part of what we do. So move forward, Bahamas, and remember, you can find it all at Builders Mall.
Whether you want to get going in a new car, to relax at home while you pay bills on your mobile banking app, to get the best rewards with your credit card, or to get a sure start on your little one's future. Whether you want a quick response on your loan, or just a range of services that keep your business running smoothly, you want banking that fits your life. CIBC First Caribbean, banking that fits your life.
Introducing the Subway Simple 6 menu. 6 of our best 6-inch subs, now and made just for you meals for just $7.50 every day. Take your pick from our best subs, like the Italian BMT, tender turkey breast, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, and more. Pile them high with all of your favorite veggies, made just the way you say, with a 21-ounce drink and a bag of chips. The new Simple 6 menu is value made simple every day. Yeah, you so got it made. Subway, eat fresh.
We are Machinery and Energy Limited, your cat dealer for the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, and the Cayman Islands. We also carry a selection of allied brands like JLG, Wacker-Neuson, and Solaire. Our extensive product line includes tractors, excavators, backhoe loaders, telehandlers, forklifts, light towers, aerial equipment, marine engines, and of course, our specialty cat generator sets. Need parts or equipment maintenance? We offer that too. Everything you need all in one place. Visit one of our branches in Nassau, Freeport, or Abaco for your construction and power generation needs.
We'll be with you through new beginnings and sunset endings, through toil and many tears, through the joys and many fears. For all of life's ever-changing moments, trust J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers for all of your insurance needs. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. The World Junior Rowing Championships underway in the Czech Republic. Competing in the men's singles sculls, Ethan Stanhope opened up today with a fourth-place finish in his heat in 7:44.52. He rows again tomorrow in repechage 3 out of lane number 5. The Women's Central Basket Tournament tips off in just under 11 days' time in Puerto Rico. The Bahamas won't be at full strength, but interim coach Wade Watson is working with the players who are available.
I believe in attrition, right? I believe we have to take into consideration some of the youth and the age of some of the players on the team now. We have to start looking to rebuild the female team and the female program. So some of those players who just came out of the junior program, it's important that we keep them playing. So I'm happy that we have a lot of them out. They're beginning to get an understanding and appreciation as to what the senior level is like. And so we're not going to discount them at all. We're going to keep them coming out to practice. And in the next year or two, some of them, the way I see it, one or two of them have the ability to be a part of the senior team traveling in August. But we want to keep them motivated and keep them coming out, get them to learn the system and understand, appreciate what it takes to play at that level. So I'm happy.
While our ladies are getting ready to travel, our men's national basketball team hooping up tonight with the Kentucky Wildcats as a part of their Big Blue Tour at the Imperial Arena in Atlantis. Even though the college season is still a couple of months away, Cats head coach John Calipari wants his players to be focused on the task at hand.
I have great kids who, and I say kids, we have some older players, some veterans. Last year we had all freshmen, but we have some veteran players and really good players, but that doesn't mean you're going to be a really good team. This is where you find out how we're going to piece this together. One of our goals were, let's get closer as a team. Let's put those phones down, jump in the water a little bit together. How about we're having meals together and let's play and learn when we're going against good opponents and some adversity hits. Let's see how we respond, and you learn about each other. But coming together as a team is a big deal.
Now, while this trip is a big deal for the Cats, it also affects a much wider sector.
It's August, and we brought probably 1,200 fans, maybe more down here. But there'll be other people. This stuff is going to be televised in Argentina. It's going to be, or South America that way. It'll be televised in Serbia and in Europe that way, and obviously nationally televised back in the United States on the SEC network. So we're not going to be able to hide. I can tell you that.
We told you last night that the Cats made a special visit to the Fox Hill community to join up with the Samaritan's Feet initiative, which provided youngsters with over 200 pairs of name brand sneakers. Well, the Cats weren't the only ones there. Dexter Williams from the world-famous Harlem Legends made an appearance as well.
Bring some love, man. I'm not a big guy, but big things come in small packages. So to let these kids know that they have hope, hang in there, don't give up, man.
And your way of spreading joy is through entertainment.
Yes, sir. Through entertainment, making them laugh, giving them a good day, and this is a great day for everybody. Yes, sir.
How did you feel to see the kids smile?
Tears flowing down my face. That's what it's all about.
The Province Softball Association was back in action last night following the holiday break. The Sunshine Auto Wildcats and Hennessy Panthers taking to the diamond in the opening game of a ladies doubleheader. Wildcats would take this one 8-1 behind winning pitcher Tila Johnson. Tila helping herself as well at the plate, going 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs and a run scored. Tyrese Curry also perfect 3 for 3 with a run scored.
We started off a bit slow, we haven't been playing for a while, but hats off to the Panthers. They did pretty good offensively and defensively. But we started to pick it up in the later innings, and we started to pick up the offense, which was better. We started to hit the ball, and our defense was good as well.
The feature game much closer with the Platinum Pool Sharks holding off the BTC Warriors 12-11. Sari Albury picking up the win. She also helped her own cause, going 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Sophie Cartwright also had 2 hits with 2 runs batted in. For the Warriors, Rondell Cooper 2 for 3, 2 runs batted in and 2 runs scored. Giovanni Mofire Johnson putting on a show on home soil as the Beaumont Cage Fight Series returned over the weekend to the Melia Nassau Beach Resort. Johnson spoke about what's up next following his third-round KO win over Angola's Pedro Casoma.
I'm planning a trip to Texas to visit one of my teammates, Justin Patterson, coming down to rumble with you, boy. Pro MMA Bellator fighter, doing big things down there, and I just want to go soak up that experience with him.
Event organizer Dr. Kent Bizard was ecstatic about the way the entire card unfolded, but he was especially happy for his protege.
Giovanni's come such a long way. He started out with, training locally. Carlos Echeverria, he trained with me. He went to Thailand, he trained in Texas, he trained in New York. He's traveled the world and really increased his skill set. And, I noticed in the fight, he went back to the basics. Knocked the guy out.
Dr. Brazard also spoke about when we can expect the next edition, which will be BOMAC 5.
In December, definitely we have our next up-and-coming MMA fighter, Pierre Simmons. And we're looking for a big fighter from the 3-letter word, the UFC, to come back down here and put on a show for us.
When it comes to sloop sailing in the Bahamas, Stephen Knowles, one of the greatest skippers. You have to look no further than this past weekend where he swept all 4 races at the Black Point Regatta, and his recipe for success is simple.
Time on our boats, Before Exuma Regatta, I didn't wait for 2.5 weeks. Took time off from my business to go and make sure that the Susan Chase, the VDK, and even I had work to do on the running tide. I had some equipment in Nassau that I had to get sorted out before Georgetown. We went to Georgetown, raced for a whole week, came back from the regatta. Another week I was so tired I couldn't work. And then 3 weeks later, I had to go to Long Island.
And that will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Whether you want to get going in a new car, to relax at home while you pay bills on your mobile banking app, to get the best rewards with your credit card, or to get a sure start on your little one's future. Whether you want a quick response on your loan, or just a range of services that keep your business running smoothly, you want banking that fits your life. CIBC First Caribbean. Banking that fits your life.
Good night, BTC family. It's Julian Believe, and we're back with another BTC Tech Tip.
Yeah, I got a call saying BTC is putting fiber in my neighborhood, but I don't even know what fiber is.
Fiber is the latest data transfer technology, providing high-speed internet connection at up to 1,000 megabits per second. With fiber to the home, customers can experience great bandwidth and reliability with their internet connection. And that bandwidth allows for services like smart home systems, Flow TV, and even home office internet.
How much will it cost to install?
Installing fiber has no cost to you if you're an existing BTC fixed line customer. However, if you are a brand new BTC customer, the installation cost is $150. And get this, having a fiber line connected to your home actually increases the value of your property.
Wow, now that makes it worth it.
And there you have another BTC Tech Tip. See you next time.
Everybody, I on TV. Look, I on TV. Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Part-time, do you see me? I on television. I gotta tell my girlfriend I on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS.
Quick, I'm on television. I don't have a TV in here. We have Wi-Fi though. We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone.
You just have to download the app. All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Present check?
My size is star now. I still gotta pay?
Did you bring the thing?
What thing?
Protection.
Come on, man. You really want to ruin the moment with that?
I actually think it will help the moment. No worries. Now we can continue. Next time, step your game up.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, Debbie has lost some punch as it now moves over the cooler waters of the Atlantic, and we expect it to dissipate sometime tomorrow. On the home front, that high-pressure system has weakened, and that means some lighter winds over the next couple of days with very flat sea conditions, so some good boating conditions are shaping up over the next few days, and very few clouds, so the chances of rain has also been decreased over the area. Patchy clouds and a bit warm tonight, with your low getting down to 79 degrees, and tomorrow we're looking at mostly sunny, hot again with one or two very brief showers passing by, 89 degrees for your high temperature, and extended weather forecast over the next 7 days. A couple of brief passing showers into Friday. Pretty nice on Saturday and into the early part of next week, where you would have an abundance of sunshine. And once again, those daytime temperatures remain pretty much seasonal.
All right. Thanks a lot, Basil. Well, that does it for us in the Bahamas tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, thanks so much for looking in, and join us again in the morning for our morning show. Until then, I'm Keisha Adderley. Good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Hello and welcome. Joining us here in Barry Tariq Zuma, better known as the City by the Sea. Their 35th edition of their homecoming regatta was quite a treat. Let's now start with the official opening ceremony.
This year, homecoming promises to be the most exciting